Hello, welcome to this Cables, Lace, and Tales podcast. My name is Sue, and I'm a maker from northwestern Wisconsin. What do I have here? What is all over here, you ask? There is all kinds of fun things I am going to show today. This is being recorded a little early in time because I will not have time during the week of Thanksgiving here in the United States to sit down and record a podcast. So I thought I will just get from the vault of all the things I've made. A lot of this was my daughter's and also future possible gifts, and I did give away quite a number of pieces um, to my cousins when they got married because they already had started a family. And these are toys. Now, I will go through each piece because there is quite a bit here. And first, let's talk about the doll. Now, I made this for my daughter, and it came from a book, which I'll show you in a second. You could put wire in the doll so that it could actually pose. It looks like I got her neck on a little, so she's looking off to the side. It's like, it's not very, it's kind of wonky. If I had put like wire, the doll or toy wire in it, it would help the head stay a little bit stronger. I did sew it quite a bit. It was relatively easy to make. The pants, let's see, I want to show. The pants and the legs were kind of the same, but a little different. And then here's the top. You have to put the top on before you attach the head because the head is so big. And then I didn't do exactly what they said for the yarn hair. I just did whatever I felt like, and I just kind of latch hooked it in, that same motion where you have a loop and then you pull through the loop. And then I didn't put a lot, there's a lot of space in between the yarn. I mean, you can't really tell because I tied it up. I did use the plastic doll eyes. I gave it a small nose and a little mouth. She did and did not like it. She was getting to that age. It took a long time for me to finish because I kept like doubting my ability to put it together, or it just took a long time to like make certain things. But she did play with it a little bit, but she was afraid of breaking it because the head is so wonky and also so top heavy with all this yarn hair. Now, I don't remember what name she gave her at all, but I found this book on Amazon probably 2018 or so. There are misprints in this book. That's why I have paper here. I was making, I think they're the bloomers. Yeah. I made a lot of changes to this as I'm looking at my notes here. But I know the bloomers for the doll to have like underwear, which I did make, and I don't know where they are. I'm just going to cover some of it. The pattern is wrong. I really, I started a notebook actually, which I should have gotten, but I forgot. I was kind of bummed that the pattern was wrong. And then it kind of also made me wonder how much other things are wrong in this book. But as you can see, I'm just going to show you some pictures. Super cute. And they have used wire to have them stand. And then this also should be noted. Look at how beautiful. I mean, gorgeous, right? So cute. So as you can see, there's a basic doll, and then you can make all different kinds of clothes, and they actually use kind of like, I don't know, wig hair. I'm gonna hope it's wig hair or doll hair, because that's not yarn. And if it is yarn, then it's like a mohair. but that's an expensive piece of hair for your doll. And then, yeah, I mean, there's even a suitcase pattern in here. So it's really adorable. Now, when I was making, okay, a trip to the doctor, okay, I don't really like the way that they're showing this, but those underwear are wrong in the pattern. And then I figured it out because at this time I have been crocheting quite a bit. Like this. I think this is like roving. The hair is roving. So cute. And I was going to make all kinds of stuff for my daughter. But then, you know, as time goes on, she was getting older. Okay. This book is using UK terms. So that was another thing because it kept on saying double crochet. And I'm like, that doesn't look like double crochet. That looks like single crochet. But when you are in the UK and you're using UK terms, single crochet in US terms is double crochet in UK terms. And I have a feeling, because I think I mentioned this before, my paternal grandmother, who was the knitter, she was from England. And my maternal grandmother, who was the crocheter, she was relatively new immigrant. Okay, she was either first or second generation. So one day my grandmas were talking to each other, and my knitting grandma asked my crochet grandma, how come your crochet looks so nice and mine doesn't? And then my crocheting grandma said, well, show me what you're doing. And she says, well, you're doing a slip stitch. And then she's like, no, I'm not. I'm doing single crochet. And then I was paying attention at that time to what they were saying, and I thought, I'm going to need this knowledge for the future. I don't know exactly when, but this is important knowledge. So back then, which is probably the 1980s, I learned that UK terms were different than US terms. And the reason for, like they say double crochet, what they figured out was that you have two loops on the hook, but we think pulling the yarn through once or twice or 3 times. Do you see what I'm saying? So like if you have a triple crochet in US terms, you're pulling the yarn through that piece 3 times. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. But a triple crochet in UK terms is that you have 3 loops on the crochet hook. Anyway, so I do really like this book. It's called My Crochet Doll by Isabelle Kessedjian. I'll hold it here. It was printed in France. There is mistakes in the patterns, so that you would need to be a confident crocheter to know that what they're saying is wrong, because I think, if memory serves, let me think here. Okay. I'm trying to like make it like it should. Okay. Correct. Wrong. Okay. Excuse my drawing. So the piece is supposed to look like this because you have the one piece here, and that's where the legs go, so it obviously is smaller. This is how it was made. One side was like this, and the other side was like wonky out. I figured it out because at that time I had been crocheting quite a bit. And how was I crocheting quite a bit? Well, I was making toys for my daughter. I have a lot more toys, but I just brought out the food today. Now, I don't even know where to start. I'll start with the book. So I wanted to make food. I got this book before 2015, probably 2013, 2014. It's called Tasty Crochet by Rose Langlitz. I have a ton of pages saved from what I have done. I'll show you the back. Oh, that's so okay. So you see bacon, sandwiches, carrots. Okay. So I made all kinds. I created so many different things. All right. So let's see here. Well, in order to make a sandwich, you need to make bread. And I have an extra piece of bread here. So you make 2 pieces of bread, but you actually make for each piece 2 pieces, and then you make it out of the 2 pieces. You make it out of the cream or whatever color you want, and then you then crochet around the 2 pieces, and you get this piece of bread. So then when what do kids like to eat? Well, they like to eat peanut butter and jelly. And sometimes I only have one, but there's a pattern for the peanut butter and jelly, so it looks like it's not even, it's smeared. It was a lot of fun to make. And then you go, well, do you want strawberry jam? Same principle. Or do you want grape jam? My daughter likes grape. Sometimes I like strawberry. And there you go. There's your sandwich. How cute is that, right? So I have more jam over here. And then, let's see, how am I going to do this? Well, what if you want a sandwich? Now, I did not make meat, but I did make Swiss cheese because I thought it was fun. So here's one piece of Swiss cheese. I did not block any of this. This is all using Red Heart yarn. That's all I could afford at the time. That's all I wanted to use at the time because these are for kids and you can actually wash and dry and it'll be just fine. Here's another piece of cheese. You just follow the pattern, and then once you get the pattern down, then you can make changes. So essentially you just chain across so many stitches and then you create holes for your cheese. I think this is like the first one I did. Big old holes. There's a hole right there from the slice. And then, let's see. Well, sometimes you like bacon. I love making bacon. Bacon was really fast and fun. And you just use different decreases and increases. And I mean, it's pretty stiff if you think about it. So, and then let's just keep with the bread here. I made toast because sometimes you want an egg sandwich with your toast. Now, these were fun. I love making these. Okay, so now I have my egg and toast and bacon. Oh, I might want some cheese on it. It's fun to make. Fun, fun, fun. Now, let's see here. Put this here. And that there. Let's see. I actually made a bunch of eggs. Now, one of these, this is the first one I made. And I thought, well, why wouldn't you want, why would you want the yellow to show from the back, right? That was my thought. So I made this a very round egg. And it's double thick. It sits really nice. It kind of looks like a spaceship. It's sunny side up. But you can't fit it into the egg shells. So there's a pattern in there where you make the eggshell. And then you can pretend to crack the egg. So you just, I'm trying to remember. I think you sew them together. But you make two halves, and then you have your egg. And you know, not all eggs are perfectly round like my spaceship, but they have some wonkiness to them. And then there's your sunny side up egg. Now I made cream color shells. I have two of those. They also kind of remind me of Pac-Man. Wonk, 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 wonk. Um, and then the yolks don't really show that much. Now this is a very well stuffed egg yolk. And then here's another tan egg. I have four different color eggshells. There's another one. So you just once you learn the pattern, then you can just be really creative in, like, you know, I kind of want a really old egg that runs a lot. Because if you know anything about eggs, an egg that looks more like the spaceship here is a very fresh egg. And an egg that looks like this is a very old egg. But you know, it was so much fun to make these. I could just like make one in a few hours here or there, or not even. I mean, really fast. So I have a brown eggshell, a tan eggshell, a light beige eggshell, and a white eggshell. Let's see if I can hold these all. Ooh. So possibilities are endless because there are Easter eggers where you get blue eggshells. So you could just do whatever you feel like. And I have a ton of eggs here. I always found that my daughter really liked playing with these because, you know, the whole process of cracking the egg and having it come out, so much fun. And then I have a kitty sleeping just on the other side. Then I started making, oh boy, let's see. I have a lot, a lot. I made apples. This is one. I gave away a lot, but the apple was real easy. It's all single crochet. Some of it is, if you're going to get something wonky like this, it has double crochet in it, but all the like fruit and other, you know, more substantially made things are all single crochet. So then you make the red thing first, right? And then you do the little stem here. And then the way you get the apple shape is that you sew it through. Seems harder than it is. It's actually a lot of fun. So on that, I also have a lot of tomatoes. And I thought this was a good idea. And maybe it is, and maybe it isn't. But, okay, so this is the original. Very cute. It has a nice little stem flower area thing. And you do the same thing where you sew it through. Very simple. And then I thought, ooh, heirloom tomatoes. So I made it out of this, I don't even know what it's called, but this is all red heart yarn. So here's some discontinued yarn because I don't make this color anymore. And then I thought these would be fun for heirloom tomatoes. They don't really embody the tomato that I was envisioning, so I never really gave these as gifts, even though they're super cute. Could possibly use them as a pin cushion, but there's really not enough stuffing in here to stop pins from going all the way out. But that is an option. Like, you know, you could use it as a pin cushion, or, you know, I don't know, a toy or decoration. The little stems, whoa, turned out better on these. And then, to keep with the tomato theme, I made this little garland of cherry tomatoes. I didn't give this away as a gift because I thought they were so cute. I used that same variegated red yarn, and variegated green yarn for the stems. Very, very cute. I forgot I even had these until I was going through all this stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember making these in like 2015. And I was just like, I just loved making stuff so much. I remember showing them at work and I got teased for it. And I didn't really care for that, but oh well. And let's see. Should we go on with lettuce? Let us go on with lettuce. So I made a lot of lettuce. Lettuce is so much fun. Oh, wait. Another tomato. I also made, and this goes for something else, which I'll show you in a little bit, but I also made tomato slices. Put that there. Let's see. Oh, kitty cat. No, no, no. No, no, no. She likes the tomatoes too. Let go. Mine. Okay. Basically, I have a lot more lettuce. So, because lettuce goes with a lot of different things. Lettuce is fun. It's a mixture of single crochet and double crochet, and it just kind of, it kind of curls like lettuce. Some of this has been really in the thing. I use different softness of red heart yarn. Like this light green one is super soft, whereas this variegated one is like plastic feeling. I did use some of the variegated green and red and orange to make it look heirloom. Hey, no. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. All right. So, and then little lettuce here. I'll just hold it real close. So, you get the point. What do you use the lettuce for? Well, you could use it on your sandwich, like I showed before. I'm a little scared to put this down now because of, silly kitty. So, but I made hamburgers. I am missing a bun, or not a bun, a patty. So this is just 2 pieces, and then you either sew them together or crochet them together. I don't remember. So this is the bottom part of the bun. See, 2 pieces, same thing. You crochet them or sew them together. And then, I like cheese. So then you have your slice of cheese, American cheese it looks like, or cheddar. And then, a piece of bacon, and then, wait, you need some lettuce. All right, get some lettuce here. Put some lettuce on, and then, a tomato slice, which looks like a wagon wheel. Little tomato slice. You can see my tension was a little tight. And then you put that on, and then you have your top bun, and then voila, big old cheeseburger, bacon cheeseburger. How cute is that? I mean, really, it's so cute. And then everything was so simple. It's all single crochet in the round. I'm a little nervous to put it over there. Well, what if you need a plate to put all this stuff on? Well, I did make some plates. Same principle of, everything. Everything is in the round. I just kind of made it as I went. I did use two yarns together. I held 2 yarns together, and I marled it. That's the back. Here's the front. I made blue ones. I don't know where they are. I made a lot. So there's those. Hopefully my cat won't go there. And then I made a strawberry. The strawberry is a fun story. So cute. So we had just moved into our house, and it was in 2015. And my husband thought that the bathroom would look good in a mint green color. And I said, I don't think so. I was thinking blue because it was blue originally when we bought the house, and bathrooms look good in a light color. Ours is a really small bathroom, um, very small, and anyway, he wanted mint green. It was like a spring green. We did use the paint downstairs, and it looks really nice because different lighting. But in the bathroom, you felt like you were in the middle of a shamrock shake. I don't think so. And it was awful. So our bathroom, like I stated, is really, really small. And there's a lot of little spots, and I would be more than willing to, please don't. You are just gonna look for trouble. I would be more than willing to paint, but there's always control issues. So I was enjoying myself making this strawberry. I have this in my mind forever. That's why I didn't get rid of the strawberry. And I was making this strawberry, and he was so mad that I was enjoying myself. I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? There's only one person that can do the bathroom, and you don't want me to do it. So I made a strawberry. I also made a pear. Look how cute that is. Please? Okay. She just wants these so bad. So I'm going to put them right here. Look, they're right there, Tallulah. Here's my pear. I have made a lot of these. I gave a lot away. I could only find one. And when I started making all of these things, like, oops, I made a carrot. Even has the wonky tip. This was actually quite difficult because it was just such a small circumference. You start down here and you work your way up, and you have to stuff as you go. And I really stuffed this with a lot of polyfill. It turned out real nice. And funny thing is, the color of this yarn is also called carrot. So I thought that was fun. When you have your burgers, here's some fries. Those were super easy and super fun to make. And then when you make these a lot, I was making food for years, and I know there's more pieces of food around our house. I just don't know where it is. But once you start making these, you start thinking of other stuff. And I was looking online on how to make other foods, because this is basic. This has basic stuff, but it doesn't have like hey, oh gosh, would you stop? It doesn't have like onions. It doesn't have it does have asparagus. It has sushi rolls. Apple slices. Oh, I did make a lot of these. Those were fun. I don't know where any of those are. But one day I thought, I'm going to make a zucchini. And so I created my own zucchini. I did put a crook in it, like it got bent, because I just wanted to see. I gave the straight one to my cousin for a gift, and because she had a baby at the time. And then I just crocheted, I think I just crocheted flat, like through the back loop for a certain period, and then I just rolled it and it became a thick stem. So this is my own design. And then let's see. Oh, when I lived in New York City in the summer of 1996 with a good friend of mine, I really became a connoisseur of falafel. So I made a pita. This was fun. And then I made falafel balls. And then, there's no sauce, but you can take your lettuce. That's what the small lettuce is for. You can take your lettuce and your tomatoes, and you can make your falafel. I did make a variety because I was planning on making quite a few of these, and then for whatever reason I either A got busy. Actually, I think now that I remember, I started making scrubbies for a gun company called stop it Gun Mouse, which they didn't look like this, but essentially rectangles, and then I would send them off to someone who sewed them into a cleaning tool for cleaning guns. And I started that in 2016, and that lasted until 20 couple years. I don't know if it was 2017 or 2018, but it it sort of exists still, but I don't know. There was some stuff that I was not privy to, and I was just a worker, and I still have all of their supplies in my house in a bin, and I don't know if I should use them or what. They've never asked for them back, and it's been at least 7 years. Wow, 6 years? Time has flied. Anyway, anyone want a bagel with some strawberry jam? Oh, this was fun. I enjoyed making this. And then I know I'm making all this stuff. Let's put the doll up. Then I got creative, and this actually took, I could make all the components really easy. Okay, I made all the triangles really easy, but what was hard was I didn't know how to sew it together. And I figured it out, and I don't remember exactly how I figured it out, but you can't see any of the stitches through anything. So you have a chocolate layer, and then, the frosting layer. This is a dessert pizza. And then you have your strawberry and your kiwis. So cute. Anyway, now, how do you hold all this stuff for your child? Well, I know there's another bag like this, and it's dark blue, which has more food in it, but I just made a simple mesh bag. I have a wide strip at the bottom that I just crocheted around and around the chain for a certain amount, and then I just started doing the mesh stitch. I made it up as I went along, and it's bigger on the bottom than on top, and then I created this nice thick top area so it has some strength and doesn't become so wonky. So then you just put all of your things in here. You're going shopping or whatever, and you have your toys. And I'm going to take these away from the kitty because I don't really want her to mess with them. I know. Look at all these fun things. And she's addicted, so, you can't blame her. Ah, can I have it? Can I have it? Thank you. So, I'm going to put that there, hide that. Take this. What else? I think that is all of the food I have made. And I did make this basket. It's just a simple basket. I used 3 strands of the red heart yarn. You just start at the bottom. You make, I don't do magic. Is it magic circle, magic loop? I crochet 2 chains, and then I will start single crocheting in the first chain, and I usually do 6, and then say like the pattern wants you to put 12, well, I just do an extra round. So I'll do 6, and then I'll do the next one is 12, and then I'll start the pattern. But I just, it gives me a nice tight area. You never see a hole. There's the center right there. You can't see the hole. And I just, go out to a certain amount, and then from that, I just crochet around and around and around to that certain amount. And when I get to the handles, I learned the hard way that you need to go down at least 1 or 2 rounds to create a strength here, so it's not like, you know, ripping away from the seams. It creates some stability. I did sell a basket on, um, I had an Etsy store a long, long time ago, and I still have the store. I just don't have anything listed anymore. I did sell a basket, actually two. I sold a basket to a lady, and um, it was custom made. So I spent a lot of money on the yarn. I spent a lot of money in time, and I severely undercharged. Severely undercharged. And then she never left me any reviews or anything. She wanted a basket for her son, and he loved to eat apples, and she wanted something for her car. And we talked, and so I made her a similar basket like this. I think it was bigger, and certain colors that she wanted. And I even added in an apple or two, you know as a toy, as a thank you gift. And not even a thank you. I don't even know if she got it, to be perfectly honest. I sent it, and I've never heard from her ever. The second person bought a basket off of mine, and she was in Alaska. She was awesome. She wanted to use it for her watercolors, and she gave me a nice review, and she was a very nice lady. And I lost money on that deal as well, because sending stuff to Alaska is quite expensive, I learned. But I didn't really have that many sales on Etsy. I think those were my two. And so the amount of money that I can charge to sell, toys, like, toys, is just, you can't compete with, like, Target or whatever. It's like, I'll be working for, if I charge what people want to pay, I'll be working for 50 cents an hour. I'm worth more than 50 cents an hour. So here's another mesh bag that you can use for groceries. I thought I was going to use this like you go to the store and you put your lemons and stuff in here, and I always forget it. And then it got packed away and I forgot. I did the same reinforcing area down here to, give it some strength. But it's the same basic principle, except for this is a round bottom. And then I just, did the mesh up top. And this is just simple, thick crochet thread, cotton thread. It's not cotton yarn. I think it is like a number 10 or 3 in the cotton yarn for like doilies and stuff. It's really cute. It's really pretty. Here, I'll put something in it that's kind of heavy. Put the little tomatoes. And so, like, you could use it as a produce bag. I've made these out of other things. I gave one to my cousin's daughter when she graduated, and college or whatever. And it looked really small, but you could fit a whole canister of coffee in it. So anyway, so I have that. And then I just made the bags out of my own way of making bags. You can look online, get some ideas, or like when you're making toys, for example, doesn't matter what the toy is. It's all basic, same principle. You start here and you make a tube. And you're always making, depending on what it is, sometimes the tube is bigger, sometimes the tube is smaller, sometimes the tube is, massive. Sometimes it's like this basket where you have something really big. Oh, I dropped it. She's going to go after it now. So once you start making toy after toy after toy, and you're thinking, Well, this is just a tube. Well, this is just a circle. I can do this, I could do that. It all leads to one another. And then, I mean, she is cute, even if she is wonky. Yeah. I think my daughter was a little bummed that she couldn't change her clothes because her head is so big. But will I ever make toys again? Possibly. However, my teenager doesn't play with these toys anymore. And, we might have to wait for the next generation of family to start having children if that's what they choose to do. And then they can get toys from auntie or grandma, whatever, So, so that is that. I did really like this book overall, knowing that it's UK terms in crochet and knowing that there is some mistakes in the book kind of put a lot of the patterns on pause for me because I just didn't feel like, figuring everything out. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I did make a lot of these little shoes. I just don't want to give too much away. Yeah, I really enjoyed crocheting for my child. It was a lot of fun. And I just made her all kinds of stuff. And I know it's all around. And yeah, I mean, this is a lot of fun. This book is a lot of fun. You can make cookies. Let's see here. I'll just show this piece. Look at, you can make pie, cookies, ice cream sandwiches. How cool is that? There's a taco. There is pizza, like regular pizza. Same thing as a dessert pizza. But, I'm just looking for another page that has all this stuff. Anyway, that is about it for today. I wrote on this a lot. I used to write a lot in my books. There's a falafel. So, I would recommend both books. This one has mistakes. This one does not. This is a very, very good book. I enjoyed it a lot. I made, obviously, a lot of food. So, thank you for coming to this early edition podcast on my old makes, and I hope everyone is doing good. If you live in the United States, happy Thanksgiving, or as I like to call it, happy Turkey Day, because Thanksgiving is one of the nicest holidays in the sense of getting together with family, if that's what you choose, enjoying good food and having a good time. I go over to my cousin's house. I always have fun. There's no pressure of buying gifts like Christmas or other times of the year. So that part is nice. But there is also other aspects of the holiday that, don't always have a good connotation to. So until then, I hope everyone's doing great. I hope you had a good time looking at all of my old makes. I hope that you are doing well. And thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for liking. And thank you for joining me week after week as I discuss my favorite things in life, which is my creativity in making, fun things to eat or play with. And I hope you're all doing well. Until then, until the next time, take care, have fun. Bye for now.